Back at it again.
So, anything you say is recorded.
It's recorded now. As of now. Oh shit.
What was that?
My water jug.
Oh. The pop?
Yeah.
Testing.
Check.
Check. Check. Last thing we want is the motherfucker not to record.
I know, right? The whole episode.
Man,
Subtitles.
episode's fucked.
Is this okay?
You're good. You're good.
Which one is this one?
Bang.
Rainbow Unicorn.
Okay. Hold on one sec. It's all good once we get on, bro.
Oh no, where are you at?
It's all good once we get on. It's like,
Oh, are you doing that thing with
It's
the
all-
phone?
yeah, this whole back shit.
What was that again? It's like a separate audio thing?
Oh, so this is we're gonna get, we're streaming on many platforms, but this is Wisdom, and then there's another. We'll be streaming on Twitch too. And, I don't really have I don't really have any following there, so it's just something that's added extra to possibly recruit more people.
Was Wisdom the one that booted us off last time?
They boot me off like this. They say a wrong word or something like that. But
it's crazy.
what was I say? Yeah, I started these platforms like Twitch and all that. I started them way later, bro. Like I don't have the followers are all on Apple, Spotify.
There's a new one too. Andrew Tate, yeah? He's been blowing
yeah.
up lately, and how he got booted off of YouTube. They said that he went to, it's basically like YouTube, but they're not so sensitive with what you talk about and shit. I forgot what it's called though.
Yeah, it's when I started the podcast. I mean, all I was concerned about was Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, mainly Spotify and Apple.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're really going to pick up traffic. And to be quite honest with you, like for you to pop off on like Twitch or
I thought that was more of a gaming platform.
it is,
right?
but you can do podcasts and shit there. But for you to pop off on Twitch, you have to like fucking be game streaming for like hours a day,
really?
Bro. And then constantly, like I had a pro wrestler on, his name is Sledge, and he is a Twitch guy, and look, see, they just fucking booted me off, man. Fuck Twitch, man. I'm fucking with Twitch. He'd have to stream like 8 hours a day, man, to get, and he barely has any followers right now. I mean,
really?
He has followers for sure.
Yeah.
But for how many hours he's putting into streaming, you would think you got like, thousands and thousands. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He's growing for sure, but it's just such a tedious process, man. But that's anything. But I'd rather...
It's probably the way because it's set up, because these gamers are on like 8-12 hours a day, and like my son, like he'll watch gamers and like...
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, wasn't that fool on this morning? He's like, yeah. He's like, he's still on. I was like, all right, you need to get off, man.
But that's how you make coin, and that's how that's how you get established there.
Can we get towels again too?
Huh?
Towels?
Want a towel?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Can we get towels plural?
All right.
Fucking towels.
Towels, man. Towels upon towels. Here you go. Thank you.
There's a little behind the scenes for the people that are tuning in right now.
Right here.
This is all behind the scenes.
Oh, is the video rolling too?
What's that?
Is the video live right now as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just the audio. Yeah.
You're already sweating like a motherfucker.
Hell yeah, man. But I just got out the shower too, though. But I take cold ass showers.
I do too, motherfucker. That was the fucking blow dryer. I'm telling you, dude. I'm fucking blow drying the shit out of my hair because if I don't, it's all curly. It gets all frizzy, man.
They say
I'm a fucking man. I take cold showers too, bro. That's funny. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Get stage ready.
All right.
1, 2. What's up, guys, and welcome to Straight from the Chest podcast. My name is Justin Groth, and I'm your host on this personal development and growth podcast. Listen, if you're new to the show, I just want to take this time and I want to welcome you. And if you've been listening to the show for any more than 2-3 episodes, thank you for your continued listenership. Your support of the channel means a lot to me. And speaking of support, if you haven't yet subscribed to us on Spotify and Apple, please do so. We are on any platform that there is podcasts. It's likely we're there, so please subscribe to all those platforms, or if you just can, just one, Apple, Spotify, one of those. Please do us a favor and please do that. And if you're not subscribed on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe there as well. I'd appreciate that a lot. It just helps to generate more awareness of the podcast, the guests we have on, and just support of the show. And so with that being said, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get into it. One of my favorite people, Jason, welcome back, brother.
Thanks, man. Glad to be back.
It's good to have you, man.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since we've talked last.
Yes.
I mean, I see you in the gym quite frequently.
Right.
Getting your shit going.
Yeah.
But apart from that, man, what's been going on with you?
Still kind of the same old same as I was last time, chipping away a little bit. Just trying to stack money, trying to get to a financial spot where I'm more stable. And yeah, man, just trying to keep my mind right, you know? But,
yeah, because last time we talked, you were fine,
mm-hmm.
but you were just wanting to kind of get out of what you were currently in.
Yeah. And like I said, it takes time, you know what I mean, to build on that and stuff like that. So, as far as like my mind, like I said, my mind's good. That's not really a big concern of mine anymore. It's just trying to get financially stable to get a spot, which, last time when we were chopping it up, you know, I was like saying, for anyone who knows my mom, please don't say nothing. Right? Remember that?
Did somebody say something?
Somebody says something. But it's all good. But she didn't really present it to me like, I heard you're sleeping in your car, because my mom, she's not really tech savvy. Like, she has an IG and Facebook, but like she doesn't really know how to like operate it. So somebody had informed her that like, oh, you see Jay, your son's doing a podcast, this and she didn't even know what a podcast was. And she was like, oh, she's like, about you. She's like, is he a celebrity? I was like, no, he's just a good dude. You know, he's just trying to start this positive movement, this and that. But she didn't really get into as far as like asking me like, are you sleeping in your car or anything like that. I think at one point, because like my trunk is stacked with my suitcase and my clothes and all this other shit, right? And I think at one point she kind of like briefly saw it as I was putting something away, because I was trying to like rush because I could see her coming, but I think she might have saw. But point being that she never said anything, but she had told me something that was kind of wild. She was like, you know what? I've been having a lot of dreams where your sister's been coming and talking to me about you. And she's like, and I didn't know why, but she was saying like basically your sister was saying that you need to come home. And so for whatever reason, I went to her house that day and I ended up crashing. And she was like, it was weird because as soon as like you came over that day, like the dream stopped. She's like, so I think your sister was trying to tell me something as far as like, we need to check on Jason. Like we need to make sure he's all right. Just check in with them. And so I thought that was kind of wild that she was having those sort of dreams of my sister coming to her, telling her that yeah, we need to check on you. But it's all love. Like, whoever did say something, I was just cracking jokes last time when I was saying, if you break my mama's heart, I'll break your legs. But yeah. What was your question again?
I don't think I had one.
Okay.
It was just how's things been? How have you since that situation?
So since then, to keep my mom's mind at ease, just so she's not consistently worried about me. Like, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, where I'm still kind of partly in my car, and then like I'll go like stay once or twice a week over there just to hang out with her and just keep her company and just let her know that like I'm good. Like, you ain't got to worry about me.
Let me tell you, man, if it were me, I don't give a shit about ego at that point or pride. I have a lot of that.
Right.
I mean, let's not get it twisted, man. I have a lot of ego, a lot of pride. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd go back.
Home?
Fuck yeah. Are you kidding me? No, not just because of shelter, but because of love.
Right.
That's very important, man. I remember when I moved, this was 2013, I moved to Burbank to go personal train. And I got this job with this really nice club and started personal training there. And I mean, it was a overall shitty experience only because the person that I moved with was ex-girlfriend. Horrific, man. Should have never. Horrific. Most horrific time of my life because it was around her, away from my parents, away from my family. First time I've ever been away, believe it or not, it was like 26 years old. And yeah, man, the absence of love, the absence of the community is and was major. Set aside the fact that I had a horrific relationship in the moment. I could have had a great relationship, still been in sort of chains because I was away from my family. And I know that they say it's time, you create your rite of passage in life.
Right.
Kind of like the movie about the movie The Lion King, about how Simba is trying to create his rite of passage and loses his father. And now it's him to, not only fend for himself, but kind of create himself. Okay. I agree with that. But I also agree with that you can do it better in the presence of people who love you and want the best for you.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying this is everybody, because everybody doesn't think the way I think. And they may feel like, no, man, I moved to Tennessee when I was 16, is best choice of my life, away from all my family, all that shit.
Right.
Like, I get it, man. That happens for people. And perhaps it would be that way with me. Maybe it'd be different if I moved now. I'm not willing to risk it. Because unless I'm called to move somewhere for a real cemented reason, I'm not leaving. I have a great community here. And not just the business. Apart from the business, it's the community that keeps me here. It's the family that keeps me here. It's the love that keeps me here. So it's a long-winded way of saying, man, like, you being around people who love you in the same headquarters, so to speak, is very, very, very important. And that's, you isolating yourself. I think that it's not doing you any favors, even though you're a strong, fucking well-able man. I know that. But I think that it would be better if you just went and kind of subjugated yourself to some degree, right? Because that's essentially what you're trying to get away from.
Right.
The subjugation of the ego, the pride, etc. I don't know, man. I think as a man, that's a way that you could show vulnerability and it could help you. Yeah.
Because you know what? Like, even though, like, last time I was talking about, like, I felt like I still needed to stick it out on my own, which I do, because I feel like there's an ultimate, I don't know if it's like a reward or ultimate, like, something positive lined up at the end of all this, whatever this is that I'm going through. It does suck being woken up in the middle of the night by security guards telling you, hey, you can't sleep here, you got to go here, or, you know what I mean? Like, we need you to leave and blah, blah, blah. Like, that shit sucks. And then just being in a bed, like, is like I miss that shit too. But like how you say, being surrounded by people you love and everything like that, how, it does make things. I guess it is ego. It must be, even though sometimes I or we as people don't want to admit it. It must be ego, and ego's a motherfucker to kill sometimes.
What else would it be, man?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, really logically think about that. What else would it be?
Yeah,
like it. The only thing holding you back from having shelter and room and board is that
is myself.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it's not that it's not there. You don't have a relationship with your mom. All those things are present.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand why, but I also think that you also not hearing it from your mom. Like, let's say your mom was to be kind of take on the role as your dad. Let's just for illustration's sake.
Right.
And she were to kind of be nudging you to do more. Well, that's a good thing in the presence of that. Apart from that, in isolation, who's telling you get going on a different path? Who's telling you? You're not living with anybody.
Right.
You don't have to answer to anybody, which is a good thing. Men want peace.
Right.
I get it. But then also men need to create something. They need to do something, especially someone who's well able and talented like yourself. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass by saying that. That is the reality. What I see in you, you could do so many things, man. You could do so many things. Podcast, recording or not, dude, I would tell you that. I really believe that from the moment I met you. And then talking with you even further instantiated it to me. You could do so many things, man. It is crazy that you're not doing one that's outside the matrix, so to speak, like just the job, like the job realm.
Right.
You could do so many things, man. And okay, so let's get back to the point. The point was, your mom, if she took on more of the dad, and I say the dad role because the dad typically will shame the son, man. I'm not saying that happened in my family, but the dad,
like, get your shit together.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The dad is more apt to say, "Hey, son, the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah. Whereas
the mom, nah, she'll probably want to keep you there, nurture, care for you, right? Yeah. I'm not saying that happens all the time.
Right. Yeah.
That's not all the time where the role. I'm not saying those roles are played all the time, like we just illustrated them, but more often than not. So if your mom was acting sort of like your dad too, and being like nudging you in her nurturing way, well, that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
And when you're isolated from that, there's no impetus to keep going or to get going, rather, I should say. There's less of that, I should say.
Because less of that fire lit under your ass type of thing, right?
Yeah. I remember you telling me when you were here, you were saying that, for the first time in your life, you felt peace.
Yes.
Like for a long time, you felt peace. And I understand that, but that comes at a cost.
Yeah. It does. But it's weird because it's like, I don't know. Like, I do want to get financially stable, and I know I can get financially stable, but it's like, it's weird because, like, money's not everything to me. And I've never been a person that came from money, that had money. So it's not really something that I ever felt like, oh, I need money. Like, I've missed it. Like I was always cool with not having much. But I don't know if that's a knock, though, because you can get stuck in that. And I don't think that's good either. When you know your value is worth much more, yeah. So I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's like I'm trying to just figure it out as I go along, but I do realize that there is some ego involved as far as keeping me where I'm at, and I shouldn't be so content with it because, like you said, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, you have peace, but what's the cost of the peace? And we need to find a happy medium to where I can have peace and I can be stable at the same time, and it could all be united as one, and so to speak. So, yeah, but
what do you think's holding you back from creating more? I
think it was just because mentally I I think I'm stuck on this high of the happiness and peace that I've had recently that I haven't had in so long. And in the past, I felt like I've spread myself too thin where I was just miserable, and I'm afraid that I'm gonna lose the peace that I've recently found by going and doing that again. And so I'm like, fuck, like this is nice, but I'm also broke and I don't have shit. But
you know what's funny is that when I go on vacation for like 2 weeks, that's a good break. The first day, especially, you know, I'm like, fuck, man. You probably know where I'm going with this illustration. The first day I get there to the hotel, we unload the luggage, and it's like, yeah, what do we do? Let's go, fuck, whatever, you know. Second day, third day, fourth day. By a week, you feel like this is a sort of a new residence. You've came and gone so many times to this hotel room. You've seen so many mornings the same faces down in the lobby, etc. You kind of feel like this is now it's familiar territory.
Right.
Okay. Then the second week, Sunday, Sunday goes by. Monday, that's typically a work day for most people, but you're still on vacation.
Yeah.
So you Monday, Tuesday. Now it's almost like you're doing it to do it. You've allocated the time from work to take 2 weeks off, but this second week now doesn't feel like
you did the first week.
Yeah, man. It's the reward is slowly dissipating.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every good thing comes to a point where it's not that good anymore. Even if it's a good feeling that you're kind of bathing in the moment, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be forever the same type of high. At a point, you're like, I'm done. Time to go home.
Yeah.
Time to actually work, even though that's the thing I was getting away from. Time to go now, bust my balls more. You've engaged in stuff that has allowed you to settle the fatigue, settle the stress, recoup, recover. Now it's time to just go and fucking do it again until it's time to take another vacation. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, this is going to get mundane and not serving anymore. It's not like you live Drake's lifestyle, where you have $100 million mansion, you have any car you want, you have any girl you want, you can buy anything you want. Like the freedom is what I'm saying. Like you have the freedom to do whatever you want, not on the level that you and I know, on the level that only the elite know.
Yeah.
Okay. Even that can get tiring, I'm sure.
Well, I think that's why a lot of famous people say like, yo, I get this. And like when I got my first big check, I thought I was going to, I bought this, and that. And I thought it was going to bring me happiness, and it didn't. And to what you're saying, it's like too much of a good thing is also a bad thing. You can't, too much of anything is a bad thing, whether it be good or bad. But shit, what was I saying? And it was something like Jordan Peterson said, like going back to the vacation, he was saying like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm going to have margaritas, but how long are you going to do that shit? Like every single day, like you're going to get tired of it.
Right.
Like it's going to become like, I need to find a new routine. And I am noticing that because it's like I said, I can't be where I'm at forever. So like you said, it's time to get in gear and get going. I just don't know what that is. Like, I just don't know what that is yet.
Well, I mean, you have a job.
Yeah.
So that job pays the bills that you currently have.
Right.
Is it paying a little bit extra than what you currently have?
No. If anything, shit, I need to get another job. Because that stint at the mental institution that I spent, it put me in debt for like, I don't know, like 6 G's or whatever that I've been paying off. And like, so a lot of my money is going to that, and on top of like my normal bills, but like I'm always like cutting it close, like always checking my account, always like, fuck dude. And that shit sucks too. But it's the fact of taking on another workload where I feel it may put me back in that mind place where I wasn't healthy. So it's like, what do you do? Like, what would you do?
You do so many things, man.
But if you're afraid of your peace being disturbed again,
fuck the peace.
Fuck the peace.
Fuck the peace, man. You have to create yourself. There's an obligation for you to create yourself. And I'm yelling because this is absurd to me. That I have a man in front of me right now that could easily do fucking like 4 things right out the gate right now, apart from getting a regular job.
Right.
And you don't know what to do. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We all don't know what to do, but typically when we don't know what to do, it's because we don't want to put our hand in something that's not going to serve us. Like, you know what you're fucking really good at with little to no effort. What are those things? Even if it's like 2 things or 1 thing, what are those things, man?
I mean, off top, I guess it would be fitness, I guess, in some degree, because that's like a good majority of what I feel makes me happy and that I do without no thought. And I don't know, I guess.
Here's a better question. What would you do for free every day that requires effort from you? But this effort that you give is willing. It's a willful effort that you give to this certain thing that you would give and do for free every day. If you had all the money in the world, what would you do for free?
I think I would try to be in service to people in some sort. I don't know how or what it would be, but something of that nature. Being in service to others. Man, I don't know. No one's ever asked me that before. And I've never really thought about that. But I do enjoy talking to people, so I don't know what avenue that opens up.
You know that when we did our first podcast, I've done a lot of these things, and when I interacted with you on the first podcast, I thought to myself, this guy could be a podcaster too. Like, that was another thing that I thought you would be good at. You could do a podcast too, and not because you're looking to make money, monetize off of a podcast. No, you could just be a good podcaster because you know how to conversate and exchange dialogue with somebody in a very fluid type of fashion. Not many people know how to do that. So that's another thing you could do. Now, podcasting is only going to bring you money when you start to chart and get a higher rank in terms of your viewership, your downloads, etc. And that takes a while unless you're like a celebrity from the gate. Right. You know what I mean? And people know who you are and such.
You already established the following. Right.
But it doesn't mean that it's undoable, right? It could be something that you do on the back burner. But apart from podcasting, you want to be in the service industry. That's a good thing, man, because there's so many things you can do in the service industry for people. But you have to really hone in on what that looks like. I can't tell you. Jordan Peterson couldn't tell you. Right. No one can tell you. You can watch all the fucking inspirational videos and and read all the different inspirational memes. None of that shit matters unless it's applied to your real life. So what does that look like if you were to give service to others? Like, what fills you up? What ignites you? What would you do for free if you had all the money in the world?
I think it would be motivational speaking, because I think that was kind of one thing I touched on last time, like on the last podcast. I just like, I don't know, I like uplifting people with my words. So, but I still know that I'm struggling trying to, like, I appreciate you saying that you the way you conversate, like you're able to with the dialogue and all that. But and like anything, obviously you got to put your time in to get better at it. But I think it would be uplifting people with my words, whatever that may be.
Okay, you start on Instagram. You gotta start on Instagram. You gotta start somewhere, man. So the only way for you to get the ball rolling here is for you to start on a platform that costs no money. And if you start to consistently hit record on your phone and talk and get used to having your face in front of the camera. That's how you develop an audience for what message you're promulgating. But if you don't even start there, who's going to know about Jason Quintero? Nobody.
Right.
And you're just going to go year by year, getting older and older, further and further away from your dream without any execution attached to it, because you won't do what people nowadays can do since 2010, arguably, or even beyond that. Take their phone, put it in front of their fucking face and talk. I mean, if you want to, if you want to be real here, man, when I first started doing anything that led to this,
right.
It was, and I don't consider myself a motivational speaker, but when I first started this shit, I thought that's what I wanted to do too.
Motivational speaking?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember starting with Instagram stories, 15-second clips, and I just remember filming myself in certain things that I had experience with and or messages that I wanted to get out to people that I had a direct relation to, or I just, whatever my brain was cut and dissecting, I wanted to dispense with it. So that's what I did. And I did, and I'm not, all those stories that I did thousands of stories, bro. I don't know that it made a dent in people. I know the people that DM me from my stories.
Right.
I mean, I could probably count on two hands out of the thousands of stories I ever posted. How many people DM me and was like, "I love that. Oh my gosh, you changed the fucking day for me."
Right.
Like fucking less than 10, bro. Really, less than 10. Yeah. The point is, you can't allow people to dictate, or rather the accolades coming from, and or the critiques coming from people to dictate your path in life and what you do. You just have to continuously press and do the thing that you find value in. I say it all the time. It's like I'm a fucking broken record. But that is the equation. That's what you have to do. Put in all the hard work and effort, intensity, something you find that's with value. So hard work, intensity, and effort plus value equals the fucking legacy, equals the purpose. That will end up equaling the legacy for you, or how people will fucking know you when you die.
Right.
But if you don't do that, if you don't start with something you find value in, and you just look for where the money's at, like I get it. Like I want to look for the money too. But if I'm just looking for the money, then the value, or the purpose rather, is diluted, because I'm only looking for the fucking pot of gold. And by any means necessary, I'll get that pot of gold. No, that's not how I work. And I would argue that most people don't work that way, unless you have dark triad traits like Machiavellianism, narcissism, or you're psychopath.
Right.
You're not going to work that way. You find something that you find value in, something that you would do for free that requires little to no effort from you to do. Not to say that you're not going to put effort into it, but requires little to no effort, or motivation rather. Let's call motivation the effort. Okay, let's substitute the word effort for motivation. It requires little to no motivation for you to do it. And you do it often. And you like doing it. You do that. You couple that with consistency over fucking years. What happens is a compound effect. You don't know what's happening in the day-to-day, minutia.
Right.
But after 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10 years,
it builds into
this shit compounds. And it's not going to go under the rug where no one can see. Nothing's going to happen from it. No, it is almost impossible for you to do something that you find inherent value in and that serves you on a visceral level. And you do it consistently over time and zero happens. Zero things happen from it. Zero things materialize. Zero things manufactured from that thing happen at all. It's almost impossible for that to fucking happen. I've never heard of anybody putting their time and resources and energy into something that they find immense value in and doing it for years, stint of years, and nothing happening as a result. Name one person that you know. Yeah, I'll let you research it. You can get back to me on this. That's happened to.
Okay.
No, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen because what's going to happen is you're going to be rewarded for the things that you work towards, the things that you believe in. Even if someone says no to you multiple times, you keep going because for some reason your hard-headed, stubborn state believes that there's something to this. You believe in yourself. Now that seems really nebulous and magical to say, well, I believe in myself. No, that needs to be cemented into you. You believe in yourself no matter what. Meaning, if you die tomorrow, you're gonna ascend to heaven in your spirit, and you're gonna think, this can't be it. I was made for more. You know how powerful that is? When if you have any thought, I don't know if you have this because I don't know, I've never died. So if you ascend to heaven and you think as you're ascending, this is not all there is for me. This can't be it. I can't be dying now and done. Because your belief is so deep, runs so deep viscerally, that even your spirit ascending is going to think differently, is going to think twice about, is this really what's happening right now?
Like, we ain't done yet.
This is not over yet.
Yeah.
I must get to heaven, and God must say, you're not done. This is a mistake. You're going back down. Because I know that far into me, I know there's something in me that's going to be of massive utility to others. I am just trying to uncover it and extract it right now. And just because I'm on to something doesn't mean it's going to fucking fully materialize in front of me.
Right.
Just because I'm sort of starting to uncover the material. But I'm on to something. And that's the same thing for you. You need to be onto something and then let time run its course. But you only can do that fervently with something that you find immense value in.
I think you're right. Because not only that, one of my coworkers that like he peeps out the stories, and I think he started following you as well as on Instagram and stuff like that. And he was telling me, he's like, yo, you should do a TikTok. I was like, ain't that for fucking dancing, bro? He's like, no, but there's like a bunch of like those motivational reels that you be posting on your stories, and like if you're gonna be doing more podcasts, and kind of like what you said, like even if it's like a 30-second just like a little pep talk, like, yo, good morning, this is what it is, blah 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 blah, like, and you just, like you said, you putting in the time, you're putting in the reps, all that, it will build to, like, because I don't know anybody who's ever put 5, 6, 10 years in worth of work and not been rewarded for it. Like you said, it's impossible. Like, it's for that to happen and not see something at the end of it, you know what I mean? Or progression. Like, I don't think it can't happen. Something's got to happen. I think it's just more, I need to find my footing in what it is, but I feel like that is the avenue. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I need a mentor or something.
I have a weird position on mentorship. I'm not saying that they are not of service and value. I think you just need to do. I don't think that you need to. I don't think you need someone to guide you. I think you need to just start doing. Because look, I've spoke with a lot of people, man, and I can typically distinguish, and I'm not saying I'm right all the time,
right?
But I typically distinguish who needs help and who just needs a kick in the ass. And I think you just need a kick in the ass. I don't think you need help. I think you're well able. I just think you need to start doing more. I think you need to get out of this. And it's hard to get out of comfort, bro. I'm not saying that I don't like to reside in comfort. We all do. I'm human. But I think that there comes a point where you realize the vacation's over.
Yeah.
It's time to get back to work because I actually want to feel stressed again. I want to feel fatigue again. I want to know what that feels like again. And that's weird to say that because most people would be like, no, I want to get away from that shit. That's because you're in it right now. Obviously, you want to run from that. But when you're not in it, you want to run towards it because it's what gives you meaning and utility in life. Utility to others. No one can use you if you're just sleeping in bed all day, getting meals given to you in bed, no source of fucking communication with anybody, No one even knows you exist at that point. You're of no utility to anybody. You're just living.
Yeah.
But you're barely living. You're breathing, but you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a drastic illustration of what it means to be comfortable. Laying in bed, getting food given to you, not having to do shit, no responsibilities, all that. At a certain time, it's going to come where you're going to be like, I got to get the fuck out of bed because I don't want to be comfortable any longer. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of being comfortable. I'm tired of being catered to. I want to get uncomfortable. I want to rip these fucking sheets off. I want to feel the coldness on my body. I want to get up. I want to fucking move. I want to do something because as a human being, I'm not made to stand still, period. Mm. You're not. And what you're doing right now is sort of standing still. And that is a thing that plagues me so bad with you because I look in your eyes and I see massive fucking talent. And I don't even know you that well, man. Mm-hmm. But I can see that you have a lot of talent. You're not awkward. You're not a weirdo. You're fucking handsome. You're built. You're tall. You're fucking well spoken. You could easily do so many things. The problem with you is not mentorship, not having the right person in your corner. Because I'd argue you have a good small circle of people in your corner that will root you on. Right. You need to just do now. And if that looks like starting a TikTok and basing your TikTok off of motivational videos or messages and using it as practice to get yourself out there to the world, hashtagging the right things so it gets more views and it gets propagated more down the line, fine. That's a starting point. That's not going to be your end all be all. It might not be, man. You have to be willing to accept that. You may not be a motivational speaker. That may not be in the cards for you.
Right.
There may be something grander in the cards for you than being a motivational speaker.
That chasing that might lead me to
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you will not know what that looks like
unless I act.
Now.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the thing I was afraid of going home, was I didn't want to be catered to, obviously, because as a mom, I'm sure your mom would be nurturing, you know what I mean? Because you're her baby and she wants to make sure, you know, you're taken care of, you're all good. But I kind of saw it as it would hurt me. But I guess in the same sense, I'm hurting myself. And how you said going home and being surrounded is something that you would do personally because of the love and everything like that. But I kind of just saw it as a weakness. Like if I go home, like I know like I'm going to have a meal. I know that I'm going to be able to wash my laundry. I know that I'm going to be able to take a shower, you know, all of these little things. And for whatever reason, I looked at it as, no, you can't do that because you won't grow. But I guess I'm also not growing at the same time trying to do it the way I think is the right way, which really is not, because it's like going back, it's the ego saying, nah, man, like be a man, you can do this, blah, blah, blah. And that's one thing I think that as men always ends up fucking us over. I don't know if you feel that way, but I feel like just that whole be a man type thing can really hinder.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and it cannot. And I'll tell you how it cannot. The world is fucking built on ego. Mm-hmm. If men didn't have egos, we wouldn't have skyscrapers. I can outbuild your skyscraper. Mm-hmm. Watch. Fucking more skyscrapers. Right. More better cars. Better plumbing. Better all this. Better roads.
Infrastructure.
Dude, it's ego's not a bad thing if you utilize it properly. Mm-hmm. It can actually be a very supportive thing for everybody around you if executed properly. Mm. And, you know, you're talking about how if I went home, I would have a meal and I blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, that's kind of setting you up for success in my eyes. Mm. I don't think you being in the position you are in now is setting you up for too much success. I'm not saying that hardship doesn't equate to being able to have better times as a result of having the hard times in the past. But the problem with that equation is it doesn't work for you because you actually like being in the situation. So I'd argue that your weakness is coming from where you're currently in right now. You're just residing more in your weakness right now. You would think it would be the stark opposite if you went home. But see, that's going to put yourself in front of your own reflection every single day. Whereas right now, you don't live with your own reflection. You just live with yourself every day. But you seeing the way it's going to affect your mother is essentially putting the mirror in front of your face. And you having to live with that every single day. And I promise you, that's going to eat at you a lot.
That's going to be that kick in the ass I need.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So by essentially you omitting this, I think you're running from it because you know, which is basically what you said in the first podcast. If you told my mom, I'm going to beat your ass. Because you know that when you see the hurt look on your mom's face and you know you're outstaying your welcome, you know that that's not what Jason wants to endure.
No, absolutely
You
not.
know that that's going to affect you on a level that you don't actually feel currently living by yourself. So I'd argue that you're actually running from the hardship. Your hardship is not staying in your car.
It's looking
Your
at myself.
hardship is looking at your mother in the face every single day, living with her, saying, as your son, I'm not doing shit yet.
Yeah.
I'm not making you proud. Every son, daughter, especially sons, want to make their parents proud. If I make my parents proud, I'll die happy. I have my idea what that looks like. And trust me, I'm working towards that. But I can promise you that you as a son do not want to fall on the opposite side of making your parents proud. You do not want them to be disappointed in you. I'm not saying that they would be. And I'm not saying that they are now.
Yeah.
But you want to go above and beyond it. You want to make them proud. And you know by looking your mom's face every day that you're not making moves to creating what you could create, that's you living with the realization of failing. Whereas right now, currently, you're just isolated and you don't see that reflection. I'm saying, I think you need to put the mirror in front of your face now. And I think you need to start moving now. I don't care if that's something small like producing a TikTok and putting meaningful message on the TikTok every single day.
Just something.
You just have to do something that requires you putting effort into something that you find value in, and do it consistently. Gives you more meaning in life, more utility. And that is, there's an automatic reciprocity effect tethered to that. When you dispense with something that you love to do, it automatically reignites you to do the same thing over and over and over again. That's why I say choose something that you can do with little to no motivation.
Right.
And that you can do consistently. Because it's almost like this thing becomes autonomous and you don't even understand the compounding effect that's taking place until one day it hits you in the ass. And it hits you in the ass with an opportunity. It hits you in the ass. It hits you in the ass with an email or a direct message from someone that you had no idea even knew you fucking existed.
Right.
But apart from that, you not doing what we're talking about, then absolutely that person's not going to know you exist. And they'll never reach out. And you'll never have an opportunity.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I just need to get going. And I think that's one of the things is like I've always been like, it's probably a lot of people too, my own worst enemy. Even when I think that I'm like helping myself, I end up not most of the time. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
As far as, well, just, I don't know. I just feel like I fucked off a lot of good opportunities in the past, even when I didn't mean to. And just like your own worst enemy. Like I can be, but sometimes I don't notice unless somebody tells me, like you saying it right now. And it's just like bringing back all this shit. Like, fuck. Like, I need to get off my ass. You right.
I only say these things because I believe in you, man. And if I didn't believe that you had something to give the world and to first start with your community of people around you, then I just wouldn't say anything probably. I just would listen to you, man.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to give negative commentary.
Right.
But I see something in you. I don't know exactly what that is or how it plays out in life 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road. But I know there's something.
I believe there's too. I think sometimes I just think too much. Like, oh, I should do this, I should do that. But it's just like, just get going, dude. Like you said, just start some shit, start somewhere, and let that be the fucking momentum that builds to take you elsewhere. Wherever elsewhere is, but at least you're moving. And I'm stagnant.
Well, I have to hold some responsibility over accountability rather right now. So I need you to tell me and tell the people listening right now what that looks like in the short term. And by short term, I mean week. What does that look like? Because right now it's Friday,
right?
The 9th of September. In a week, by next Friday, you need to have already something locked and loaded. So what is that going to be?
At the top of my head, it would be starting that TikTok, like my coworker said.
Okay.
So that would be in the short term. Starting a TikTok, posting some stuff of what I do on my IG stories.
No. Because that's not you and your IG stories. You can't live behind the fucking frame your entire life. You have to be the frame. So that doesn't mean you posting monologues from other people or excerpts from other people or memes or videos that other people say.
Right.
No, you create it. You have to speak.
What about a combination of both?
No.
Just strictly me?
No, dude. It doesn't matter what other people say. What matters is what you have to say. That's it. You're not creating a platform for other people. Trust me, Kevin Gates has his own platform, bro. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't post about Kevin Gates. I'm not saying he's not the shit.
No, yeah.
I'm saying he's not you. And this is all about Jason, not about Kevin or Jordan or any other person that you find admirable.
Well, then I guess it would be creating that and doing daily videos, whether it be just a quick 5-minute video. At least it's something.
5-minute video is not quick, man. So think less. Okay? Think less, because I don't think a 5-minute video for you right now that's not savvy in front of the camera is doable long term, consistent. Think 15, 30 seconds.
Okay.
Get that shit down pat. Then move up.
Start to build up time.
You don't need 5 minutes to capture someone's attention. You need 4 fucking seconds. And if you're not capturing someone's attention in 4 seconds, you're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
So think about 15, 30 second at max plays. And you need to do that every day. Saturday, Sunday included.
Right.
But that needs to be something. That's the start, right?
Right.
That may lead you nowhere, or it may lead you somewhere. But none of us know what the outcome is going to look like because it hasn't played out in real time yet.
Yeah. Okay, so then short term, from now to next week would be that. Long term, I have no clue, because I would be trying to deal with the short term as far as building that momentum, as the 15, 30 seconds, whatever it may be. So I have a hard time trying to see the long term, because I'm trying to envision trying to see the long term because I'm trying to envision how the short term will go.
Don't worry about the short term.
No?
You just need to worry about doing it. That's all that matters right now, because none of us know if we even have tomorrow, man. I don't know if I'm going to live tomorrow. I would assume I will, because, historically speaking, I woke up yesterday and the day prior and the day prior and the day prior.
Right.
But don't concern yourself with the process. Concern yourself with the action that's going to essentially create whatever this thing is or whatever it could be. That's all that matters. You can't think short term, long term, and none of that shit. None of it matters. Projections don't matter because you don't even know if you have fucking tomorrow. The thing that matters is you putting in effort to the thing that you find valuable, to the thing that ignites you. And you know what? You're talking about messages. Okay, great. A message. Let's say this. One rule for you to create a message, and you have to live by this rule. You do not gather inspiration from people that you admire. This message has to be cut and slayed from your mind, not someone else's. Not looking at someone else's reels to get motivation or inspiration. Oh, I could say what they say, but say it a little differently and make it mine. No, fuck that.
Right, yeah.
You have to sit with yourself and you have to really think about what it is you want to talk to people about. What it is that might make them better. That may mean you dispense a little bit of transparency and vulnerability from your past. Maybe, perhaps. But the number one rule for you to producing messages is never to take anybody else's message that you find inspirational or admirable and then cut and dissect it to where it sounds or it's unique coming from your mouth.
Right.
Make it original. Do not be a propagator. Be an originator.
Yeah.
That means don't multiply what other people are doing. Be an original copy. I'll be honest with you, man. I stopped listening, and people that have listened to this podcast before or are long-time listeners, they know this about me. I stopped listening to influential people like Jordan Peterson.
Was it because of that?
Because I started to find myself talking like him, and I don't want that at all.
Right.
I don't. When I felt that, and it started to come out in some of my podcasts, I'm like, whoa! I didn't say that. But in my head,
you caught yourself.
It was a big alert. Like sirens were going off because ultimately, even if this quest is long, I want it to be something that's original and that's unique to me. I don't want to be known as somebody that's like somebody.
Right.
I want to be known as who I am, who God made me to be. That's it, man. And it's going to take a long time for me to uncover what that looks like and what that is and how it plays out in real time. But time is what I have. Time is what you have.
Well, let me ask you this. So you said you kind of, because yes, I would want to do it where it is authentically me. I wouldn't want to take sound bites and then reword it, flip it, and make it sound like, oh, like it was my words. Because that's not authentic. And so for you, like catching yourself like, shit, I kind of sound like this guy, or I kind of sound like this guy that I admire. Was it because you were afraid of maybe fumbling, or were you doing it without even really realizing?
It's just what the algorithm gave me. The more I looked at his videos, the more the algorithm gave me his videos.
Right.
And then if I was
subconsciously, you were just.
Well, yeah, and I obviously liked learning from him.
Yeah.
But there comes a point where, look, everybody learns from everybody, from the different iterations that have been given to us throughout time, but at some point, the very, very beginning of time, the very first man, he had to learn by failing. There was nobody before him to tell him, well, this is give him words of wisdom or give him an outlook or
show him the way.
No,
yeah.
He had to learn through failing, through falling, and through stumbling. So I would rather be that man, even though it's harder. I'd rather be him in terms of where I'm trying to navigate or what waters I'm trying to navigate here in terms of what I feel that's meaningful and purposeful in my life. I'd rather stumble, fail, fall, get ridiculed, etc., to have that be the sort of the navigating path to creating what I'm supposed to be. I don't want to learn from other people that have already done it. I mean, yes, it's nice
to have sort of a blueprint, but you want to find your own
but
way.
At the same time, if you're not careful, because you're a human being and you're impressionable, you risk the possibility of becoming a copy of that person. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen certain people that I follow on Instagram that I know they listen to someone like Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, Jordan Peterson, etc. And they are iterations of that person. I see it come out in their videos. I see it come out in what they post. I see it come out in the pictures that they post. I see it come out in the way they speak. And I know the reason why I know they listen to these people is because they'll post their podcast numerous times on the stories.
Yeah.
So I know that if you're going to post an Ed Milet podcast or Andy Frisella podcast 4 times a week, you're probably an avid listener.
Yeah.
Which means you're picking up a lot of his vernacular, a lot of his dialogue, and it's going to be showcased on you if you don't sit with yourself first and think about how you really think about certain things and how they apply to your past and how you can distribute for the future people listening to you, to have them learn from your experiences, your past, your mistakes, etc. And really cut it up with the way your mind works, not from the way Ed or Andy or Jordan's mind worked. Even if they are iterations of other people that they admired,
right?
Fine, that's on them.
Yeah.
Don't be an iteration. Be an original.
So, like for you, when you started doing your solo podcasts, how'd you go about how'd you go about it? Like how did you approach it?
Exact thing I'm telling you, man. I sat with myself and I there's times where I've sat for 3 hours dozing off, sleep, because I'm closing my eyes and I'm thinking about what really matters to me, what I really want to tell people, how I can word it in a message. Because look, here's the thing. There's no reason for me to get on the mic and talk to people. There's none. I'm not famous. I'm no celebrity. No one, I don't have really that substantial of a following. There's no reason why I should get on the mic and start talking to people. But I know I want to. So I sit. Oftentimes I sit for hours and I sometimes fall asleep as I'm sitting there because I'm closing my eyes. I'm trying to think, meditate on a word to dispense with. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes it's in me. I'm fucking raring to go. Not every day though is like that. But every day, every time I can tell you this, every time I commit to it, it happens. And I've committed to this motherfucker for 2 times minimum a week for the last, 3 years. Go back in my archive, bro. You won't see a fucking week missing. It's all there. There was a point where I had to and my sound technician knows this. We had to cut out some episodes because when we transferred the episodes from one platform to another, some got lost and shit. And there was a time where I had to getting cleared through Apple, where I wasn't at this very beginning, where I had to I was doing podcasts, but they weren't showing up on Apple. So you may find glitches there, but it's not because they weren't there. It's not because they weren't done. It's because of the process and the whole thing that happened. Them taking the podcast or not transferring all of them, etc. when I switched platforms. So that's neither here nor there. The point is, when I committed, it was non-negotiable. When I committed to myself and I set that standard, it was non-negotiable. I did it whether I was sick, feeling like it, not feeling like it, tired, fucking did it, man. And sometimes it took me 4 hours to do it for a 10, 11 minute episode. But the thing is that I wasn't going to leave the room until I was done.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to leave the couch, wasn't going to leave my spot until I was done. And that's just something that I put on myself. That's a discipline that I put on myself. But I did what I'm telling you to do. I sat with myself. I reflected on things that I find value in, on a message that I wanted to tell people. And sometimes people don't know this. They'll know now. Oftentimes a word would hit me that I would hear from somebody, or I would even be just on Instagram or some media platform or YouTube, and a word, somebody would say a word, and I'd be like, oh, I love that word. And it was just a regular word, but in my head would become a title. And then from that would be the outline in which I would dispense with.
Okay.
So it was essentially like a director working backwards in a movie.
Yeah.
That's how I did a lot of that's how I did like 70% of them. I worked backwards from the title. All I needed was a title. And then I was freestyle the whole way through. That worked for me. You have to find what works for you. But there's something that works for you.
Just got to find it.
But you won't find it through others. You need to sit with yourself. You need to sit with yourself and reflect in a very authentic fashion. You have to do that, or else you'll never really understand who you are, what makes you up, what moves you, what ignites you, what depresses you, what causes you to be cynical, all these things. What causes you to lose steam, become apathetic towards things that you're doing in your life. You don't sit with yourself. All you are is an iteration of someone else. And you're easily moldable. And you're not a man that I consider to be easily moldable, or even in a position to be easily moldable. That's a scary thing for someone like you, because that means that you're abdicating your talents for someone else's success that you see already, and following in their path because they have success.
All right.
You should never abdicate yourself of your talents.
Fuck, man. Yeah, man, you're right. I guess I gotta lock myself away somewhere and just fucking... No, I don't actually, because if I do that, I might not fucking come out. But sitting with yourself, yeah, a lot of shit to reflect on. I guess it's just I just didn't know how to get started. Still don't know how to get started. Yeah, man. I don't know.
Okay, so TikTok. I need you to tell me and tell the viewers or the listeners what your handle is going to be. And I want you to make that handle tonight. Now, when you go on TikTok and you make a handle, it might be taken. Okay? But so in other words, you don't know what handle is available and what's not. Okay? Right. But let's say Jason Quintero is available in some iteration, whether it's _ Jason _ Quintero _ Jason Quintero 1, Jason _ Quintero 1, whatever. Tell people right now what that's going to be, so everybody who's listening can follow up with this podcast and go on TikTok and find you and follow you.
I would use my IG handle, I guess, just to keep it as simple as possible.
Jason Quintero.
Jason Quinn 58.
Jason Quinn 58.
Yeah.
Okay. Either Jason Quinn 58. Let's give them 3 iterations of what they could, because it might be taken.
Okay.
So Jason Quintero 58, or Jason Quinn 58. Sorry.
J _ Quinn _ 58.
Okay. Or
J Quinn _ 0058.
And the 4th one, let me just add this one in there. Jason Quintero.
Yeah.
So people can know who they're looking at, first and last name.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it simple. Jason Quintero.
So let's go through those iterations again. 1
would be Jason Quinn 58. 2 J _ Quinn _ 58. 3 Jason _ Quintero _0058, and the last
Jason Quintero.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you have it, people. In a day. Now, people might listen to this podcast in 2 days' time from now, 3 days' time from now, whatever. That's why I say do it tonight. So people for sure, when they hear this, it's already made. It's already made.
Yeah.
Good.
Tonight.
And then I'm gonna follow you. I'm just Justin Groth on TikTok. I think. I don't know. I barely go on TikTok, man. But I'm gonna follow you too.
Okay. Bet.
Because I'm not following you to follow you. I'm following you because I want to make sure that you're doing what you're saying you're doing. And if you are, I should see this shit every single day. And like we talked about, it's not going to come easy every time. That message is not going to come easy every time.
Yeah.
But it's something that you find innate value in giving a message to somebody. And it's really, really simple in the sense that you don't overthink this process. You just distribute with what's meaningful to you.
That's what it is.
It'll hit people.
I'm overthinking this shit when I really shouldn't. I should just speak from my heart and just speak on how I feel about what I feel on whatever the topic may be. I think it was just, I mean, yeah, this shit's a little scary, no doubt, but
no, it's not scary. What the fuck is scary about this? All you're doing is putting the camera up to your face and talking to people that don't know you. Are you afraid of the comments?
No.
Are you afraid of not getting enough likes?
No. I've just never been a person like Instagram, for instance. I'm new to this shit. I just started this shit this year and only started it to follow my son until somebody convinced me to actually post some shit. And then that kind of is what started me doing that. So, and I'm not one to be like, look at me. Blah, 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 blah. So I think that's what scares me. Like, yeah, that's just because it's foreign.
Yeah,
like,
you don't. Yeah, I understand that, but it's not scary. So let's not say scary because that's a bold word to use.
Okay.
It's just different. That's all. It's not scary. It's different.
Yeah.
You being chased by a lion is fucking scary.
Yeah.
You putting your stupid face in front of a camera is not scary. Okay.
It's different.
I put my stupid face in front of the camera multiple times.
Yeah.
And I got praises and I got critiques.
I was gonna say, has there ever been a time you did it and you're like, fuck, I felt like a fool in that one?
Oh yeah, of course, man.
Oh,
And
okay.
I've gone back, deleted it, redid it, all kinds of shit, man.
Yeah.
But that's the process.
Yeah.
Okay. The point is that you start doing this and you get uncomfortable understanding where your place is at in life, where your path is, because a lot of people don't know their path. They don't know what trail they should go down, and they keep guessing. Okay, but I'm saying there's 4 trails in front of you. Even if you choose, you go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you're not gonna lose because these 4 trails in front of you all lead to success. These 4 trails are essentially indicative of your talents. 4 different talents you could go and put energy into. As long as you run the trail long enough, you'll find this materialized thing at the end. But if you don't even embark, then nothing happens. And the point I'm trying to make is, if you're just consistent in something that you find value in, and that's something that drives you to do, and it's fun for you, and you have a meaningful experience while doing it, you can't lose as long as you do it long enough. The problem with most people is that they do something and it doesn't produce, and they're like, fuck this shit, I got other things to do.
Throw in the towel.
And exactly. But if you just commit to this, understanding that even if nothing comes from it, something will show me otherwise from what I understand right now. Meaning, even if something doesn't materialize from this, fine. But it's gonna give you data from what didn't work and what does work. You also have to understand that you cannot lose your tongue in this. You cannot, what I mean by that is you cannot lose the way that you think to appease somebody else. I'm not talking about controversial issues like
politics or whatever.
Abortion, politics, all that shit. Okay. I'm talking about just the messages that you hear that you find meaningful from the people that you admire.
Right.
It's not going to hit everybody the same. Like a Kevin Gates post, although they're great, they're not going to hit everybody the same.
Yeah.
They hit me like they hit you, bro. I love them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that everybody is going to resonate with it. And so because of that, you can't be fearful or rather change your vernacular in regards to how you dispense. You just need to do it. Look, in my own, for myself, I fucking tend to yell a lot, or I tend to talk loudly. And I tend to be very charismatic in the way that I illustrate something with my hands or my face, etc. That's just me, period. If I dumb that down, I dumb my entire aura down. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. There are times to do that, in terms of how you want to get your message across, your audience, the tonality you express it with, etc. But on my platform, no, I'm going to be me on my platform.
Yeah. Well, that's why people tune in, right?
And if they don't, they don't, right?
Yeah. But yeah, comments and shit like that, like, that's never been anything that I don't give a fuck about that shit at all. So that's not what I was, what was the word we used? Not fearful, but
different. It's different.
Different.
It's not scary. It's just different.
It's just different, yeah. And it's just trying to, I just need to get out of, I guess, that mode, that feeling. And different is good, so fuck it. All right.
What, are you looking for co-signing right now?
I don't know.
You don't need me to co-sign you, man. Like this, look, there's a reason why you're urged to do this. It's not because your buddy said it. Like, there's a reason why you're urged to make these motivational. There's a reason why you're urged to be a motivational speaker, I should say. Okay. And unlike a lot of people, you have a crazy story. So a lot of people can learn from you. But there needs to be a redemption aspect involved in your story. Okay. Right now, there's not a redemption aspect yet. That's your job to create.
Is the redemption story.
So it's a two-pronged situation. You're creating yourself whilst redeeming yourself from your story. Because if you want to be a very penetrable motivational speaker, I'm not saying this for everybody, but you need to have a story that starts bad and ends triumphant. Or rather, is moving in the triumphant phase. And that's sort of the redeeming part. Or the redemptive part.
All right.
So that's what you need to create now, though. Because you have a story that people can learn and be educated from and be inspired from. Now move on to the redemptive aspect.
Yeah, fuck, man. Holding me accountable, man. Putting me on the spot. But I think that's good. I think I do need that. And I know this one, I'm not as talkative. I'm just taking it all in because it's shit that I do need to hear. What you're saying, everything you're saying is everything that, maybe, like you said, putting up that mirror, I don't want to look at myself, but I need to, because I deserve better. I don't know, Justin, man, you got me on this one, bro.
Well, there's going to be a part 3, you know that. Because people are going to want to hear how you're coming out of this.
Yeah.
And that's another way to hold you accountable, too.
Yeah.
There's got to be a part 3.
Well, I guess we'll see how this goes. But, yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like not a whole lot on this one right now. As I'm just taking a lot of shit in. But
I know I said it prior, but I only say these things because
you care.
No, it's not because I just care. It's because I see something that is profound in you, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't put my finger on it, but I felt that way since the moment I spoke to you in the gym. And then it only grew and matured the more that we did these podcasts, spoke more in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You just got something. And it's going to be your job and your obligation to uncover what that is. And it looks very dismal right now because you haven't even embarked on it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But once you do, once you get a glimpse of what it might be, that's going to be the self-propelling impetus you need to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just going to be like a tumbleweed that picks up debris. It's just going to grow larger and larger the more it tumbles. You're right. There isn't really anything left to say.
Yeah.
The thing is that this is something that needs to be talked about to you,
Mm-hmm.
or rather, you need to talk to somebody about this sort of thing. Because if not, then we as men think, well, we're fine. We're fine, man. We're doing, we're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's men that hold other men accountable. Like we talked about your dad, if he was, your mom taking on the sort of the dad role as well, if she was to not shame you, but sort of, call it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, Jason, what are you doing? Or why aren't you, you woke up at 9, 10? Why are you waking up at that 9 and 10 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
If nobody's there to hold you responsible, accountable, and myself included, man, I'm not exempt from this, then we will never grow. And that's a problem. Especially when you're you and you have the talent that you have. It's a real big problem. Because it's not just what you could do for you and your life and your family. It's what you could do and how you could impact others around you. That might be the saving or the salvation that they need from offing themselves. Right. You don't know. So it's your duty, obligation to find and uncover what that is. This is non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. This is what people are going to remember you by. You don't not want to be remembered. You don't not want people at your funeral. Right. You don't not want people saying a good word over you or saying the basics like, hey, it was so funny. Every time he walked in the room, he lit up the room. And that's great. Did it really happen?
Yeah.
Was that person really the light of the room? You want to be that light of the room, man. But you have to create that light. That sounds really stupid, cliche. It's the truth. You have to create that. And unless somebody's beckoning at your door telling you to do so, as men, people in general, we might just fall back.
Right.
Because we're just doing. We're in just the autonomous state of doing. And there's nothing that's additional. Mm-hmm. Leaving vacation is a good thing, man. Leaving vacation is a good thing. Getting back to stressful life is a good thing. Getting back to extinguishing fires is a good thing. Mm. It's not a bad thing. And it has its season. And then you look forward to another vacation. And that's how this life goes until you fucking die.
Yeah, man. Part 3. We'll
see
where I'm at.
Yeah,
part 3.
you everybody, you're listening. You heard it. There's a part 3 coming. I'm gonna give you a month, and there better be something that not only you can tell me, but you can tell the people that are listening. Because I can assure you, that when people listen to this, they're going to be searching for your name to come in a month?
I hope so, man. I hope so, because I don't feel like I haven't said much on this one, and I feel like I don't know, like I'm not doing myself any justice with this. But it's just I'm just absorbing right now, and just it's real shit you need to hear sometimes. So,
look, man, take us out. Take us out. What's your handle? Where can people find you? Where can they send you a DM?
Jason Quinn 58 on IG, and yeah, for the TikTok handle, what we said 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
break it down one more time.
Same thing as IG, Jason Quinn 58. If that don't work, try J_Quinn_58. If that don't work, try Jason Quintero. And if that don't work, try Jason_Quintero_0058.
And you're gonna do a video tomorrow, so there'll at least be 1 or 2 videos already in the archive for them to look at.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Might not be long, but it's something.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Till next time, part 3.
Yes, sir.
Done.